Hi guys, welcome back to my channel English in a Blink, and today I will look at tag questions, won't I? Well, yes, I would. I think you've already understood. So I started with a tag question. So now what exactly is a tag question? So questions that we add at the end of an affirmative positive sentence or a negative sentence. So when you have like a normal sentence and then you add like a question, like a tag at the end, that becomes your tag questions. Now, why do we need them? So you add your tag question sometimes because you want to check an information or, for an agreement with somebody. So if I say, oh, you want to come with me, don't you? Okay, so I'm just checking, or I want an agreement with you. Or let's say when you're also checking that if something is true. So if I say, the meeting is at 9 o'clock tomorrow, isn't it? So I want to check for the information if it is true or not. So that's when you add tag to questions. Now to start with, what I want you to remember is the first thing is that you make your tags with your auxiliary verb. When you have your auxiliary, so if it is, in the present, so if it is a positive sentence, so then you make your tag with a negative. So if I say, she's from France, isn't she? Okay, or she isn't for France, is she? Okay, so these are, if you have a positive sentence, you make a negative tag. If you have a negative sentence, you make a positive tag, and you make your tags with your auxiliary. Now, if you don't have an auxiliary in a sentence, okay, so then what do? We use our do. So if I say, you live in Spain, don't you? Or if I say, you don't live in Spain, do you? Or if it was about past, you lived in Spain, didn't you? Okay, so when there is no auxiliary, so then we use our do according to the tense. Okay, so this is like to start with positive sentence, negative tag, negative sentence, positive tag. You make your tags with your auxiliary. Now if you have your modals, so then you make your tags with your modals. So if I say I can't swim, can I? Okay, or you can't swim, can you? You can swim, can't you? Okay, so depending on whatever the sentences, you make it according to that. And if you have your modal, then you make your tag with your modals. Now, a few things that I want you to remember is, so when you have a sentence with let's, okay, so if you have a sentence like, oh, let's go to the beach, so then how are you going to make your tag? With shall. Let's go to the beach, shall we? Or let's have coffee, shall we? Okay, so when the sentence is like let's, then you make your tag with your shall. Now, when you have imperatives, okay, then you make your tags with will. Close the window, will you? Hold this for me, will you? Okay, so with your imperatives, we make our tags with will. When the subject is like nothing, okay, so if the subject in the sentence, the subject is nothing, so nothing bad happened, so then you make your tag with it. Nothing bad happened, did it? Okay, so when the subject is nothing, then you make your tags with it. All right, let's say you make, like when you have negative words like never or hardly, like negative words, so then the tag is going to be positive. So let's say I say, you have never liked me, have you? Okay, so now this is a positive sentence. You've never liked me, but since you have a negative word in it, like never, so then you're going to make a positive tag. You have never liked me, have you? Okay, so that's when always remember, if you have a negative word, then the tag is going to be positive. Okay, when you have in subject, you have words like nobody, everybody, or everyone. So then what do you use in the tag? You use your they. Okay, so nobody asked for me, did they? Okay, or everybody loved me, didn't they? Okay, so when you have subjects like nobody, everybody, so then the tag is going to be with they. Okay, all right, so if you have as a main verb, okay, so if I say you have a Ferrari, so how are you going to make your tag with it? You have a Ferrari. So have is like a main verb. It is not an auxiliary. So then the tag is going to be with do. Yes, you have a Ferrari, don't you? So remember, you know, when have is a main verb and when have is an auxiliary. And if you don't know this, like when have is an auxiliary and when have is a main verb, so I have a video, go and check that one. But a quick glimpse, so like I said, you have a Ferrari, don't you? So here we're talking about possession, something that you have is the main verb. And if I say, I have eaten nachos before, okay? So if I say I have eaten nachos before, or you have eaten nachos before, haven't you? Okay, so now have is the auxiliary, and that's the reason we made our tag with have. Okay, so remember, when your have is the main verb and when is it an auxiliary. Do not forget that. And if it is not clear, like I said, go and watch this video, which you'll get in the link. Okay, so this was about your tags. All right, so if you have a sentence with used to, so if you have a word like, if you have a sentence like you used to live in Spain, so how are you going to make like the tag? With did. That's right. So you used to live in Spain, didn't you? Okay, so when you have words like, you know, you talk about used to, you make your tags with didn't. Okay, so one last thing before we end. So if if you have like in a sentence like a present form of be, so if you have a sentence like I'm sitting next to you, so how are you going to make a tag? See, there's no contraction for am I not. There's nothing as amn't. No such thing. Okay, so that's why when you're making the contraction, so you make your tags with I'm sitting next to you, aren't I? So you make, when you have something like I am, you make your tag with aren't I when you're making the contraction. But otherwise, you can also say, I'm sitting next to you, am I not? Okay, but no contraction. But if you're contracting it, so then you'll say, I'm sitting next to you, aren't I? So that's how you will make your tag when you have something like I am, I am. Okay, so the tag is going to be with aren't I? Okay, so that's it about tags. I hope you understand your tags very well. So do not forget, like basic rules: positive sentence, negative tag, negative sentence, positive tag, and you make your tags with auxiliary. Okay, so verbs, and when you don't have, then you make it with do. And if you have your modals, you make your tags with modals. And exceptions, I already gave you the exceptions, so do not forget that. And next time you have your tags, you make it like this. Okay, so if you like your video, what you have to do, press the like button, subscribe, and spread the word. Until we meet next time, bye for now.